Yeah, my name is Mikkel Martin Petersen, and I am game director and co-founder of. No, I'm game director of Deep Rock Galactic and co-founder of Ghost Ship Games.
Deep Rock Galactic, been around for a while, very popular game, and you've recently announced your first spin-off game, Deep Rock Galactic Survivors. Can you give us a quick little overview of the game?
Yeah, so it is. No, let me tell you a story about how we started it, right? Because actually, last year the whole vampire survivor craze broke out, and we were in there. We totally fell in love with this new genre of playing computer games, and we were thinking, hey, maybe there was a potential here to do a crossover with Deep Rock Galactic, and then we started toying around with the idea. So Ghost Ship Games is a fairly small studio, we're only 30 people, so we didn't have the bandwidth to produce the game ourselves. So we partnered up with another Danish game studio called Funday Games, and it's some friends of us basically, and they were really eager to help us out producing the game, and we started collaborating with them, did some prototypes, and then now we're here, and I just announced that it's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like there's a lot of survival aspects to Deep Rock Galactic itself. Mm-hmm. So this feels like a very natural spin-off in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, it's the survivor genre, I think, is it's an interesting fit, right? I think when actually also last year we started a Kickstarter for a board game version of Deep Rock Galactic, and that was actually where we started thinking that, I mean, we could actually take the IP from Deep Rock and broaden it out to other genres of games. And I think there is a lot of core elements in Deep Rock Galactic that is really well suited for other things. So our take on the survivor-like games, I call it survivor-like. I don't know what the genre is called, but I mean, I've just decided this is survivor-like. But a survivor-like game, our take on it. So we procedurally generate the maps that you are fighting and exploring. And then we have terrain that you can mine. So you basically can mine your path around in when you're playing Deep Rock Survivor. And that is generating a new kind of gameplay within this genre.
Yeah. So it sounds like beyond the money, there's a lot of different elements that are from Deep Rock Galactic that you're implementing into this new survival genre as well. Like I noticed when we were watching like some of the demo video, you actually have to, and you don't wait for death to come kill you at the end. You have to get to your extraction point still, right?
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at Deep Rock Galactic, and then we're saying which elements from Deep Rock Galactic will actually translate really well. So yeah, obviously, you arrive in the stage, you're coming into the level with the drop pod, you leave it, you complete your mission, and then when you completed your mission control comes in and tells you to now the drop pod is coming, you need to get to it, and then you have 25 seconds to get to the drop pod, otherwise it's game over, right?
Only 25 seconds now?
Only 25 seconds. I mean, the game loops are super fast, right? So you go into a level, play a couple of minutes, kill 150 monsters or aliens, right? And then you are extracted.
Nice. Are there primary and secondary objectives, just like in Deep Rock?
Yeah, there is also primary and secondary, and there's actually some of the things that we're experimenting with right now is to see which of the mission types from Deep Rock Galactic we can actually translate into the survivor-like genre.
How does the mining actually play into the gameplay itself? Because, a lot of times, or I guess in the Vampire Survivors, you level up by collecting experience coins and stuff like that. Like, are the different elements going to play into what kind of weapons or buffs that you can unlock?
So right now we are basically looking at Deep Rock Galactic, and we are trying to take as many of the weapons from Deep Rock Galactic and translate them into the game. Obviously, since it's like a top-down, one-stick auto-shooter, right? I mean, they're gonna function differently from Deep Rock Galactic.
But I'm curious, like you're bringing the class system into this too. Like you have 4 core classes in Deep Rock Galactic. Are you going to be expanding the character roster or the class roster or anything like that for this game?
No, I think this is also where we are a little bit different from, say, Vampire Survivor, in the sense that we only have 4 classes here. So we are gonna do our, you can say, meta progression in a different way.
I'm also curious, Deep Rock is such a rooted in a multiplayer experience, and this seems like a very solo experience. Was that like a concern at all? Because people love playing Deep Rock together.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super good question you're asking there, and it's something that we spend a lot of time in the beginning of the development on discussing, should it be co-op or not. But we really felt that if you have a survivor-like game, right, it goes completely bonanza in the amount of enemies and particle effects on screen as you get deeper in, and having a 4-player co-op in this would be a little bit maybe too much. I think one of the things that is super cool about this genre is that even though it looks very chaotic, it is super relaxing to play these kinds of games. And that has been something that we try to keep in Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, that it is relaxing to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice because a lot of times I'll get to a point where I'm just OP in Vampire Survivors, and I'm just kind of sitting there watching the game play itself and kicking back. It sounds like you want folks to get to that point in this game as well.
I think it is not exactly going to be the same because we are procedurally generating the levels. So the levels in Deep Rock Survivor is going to play a bigger part in it. So you are exploring the levels, you are searching for minerals, you are mining for gold and crafting materials and so on. So the level design and the exploration plays a bigger part than it does in many of the other games.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about that exploration really quick, because everybody has basically secondary abilities in Deep Rock that allow them to traverse. Like the Gunner, my personal favorite class, you have your zip lines. Other players can build platforms. The Driller has like a super powerful drill. How are those secondary abilities going to be featured in Survivors, and how will they be implemented?
Yeah, that's a good question. We haven't explored that yet. We know that the 4 classes, they are gonna be different. But the extent of the, you can say, traversal tools, how they're gonna play in, I'm not so sure that they translate very well into this genre.
Yeah, it's also very interesting because Deep Rock is such a, I don't want to, it takes a while to get through a mission usually, and this sort of genre is a much quicker experience, and especially going to mobile. What's that experience been like for you guys as you sort of tweak the formula you already have and mix it in with the Vampire Survivor sort of formula?
Yeah, I mean, it is different because, I mean, the time you need to, I mean, you're playing a stage, right, and it takes like, I don't know, anything between 1 and 5 minutes, basically. I mean, again, it goes really fast compared to Deep Rock Galactic. And of course that means, for example, as we talked about before, that the drop pod, you only have 25 seconds to get to the drop pod when you are being extracted. Yeah,
and I mean, Deep Rock's already kind of hardcore. This sounds like you just found another hardcore genre and yeah, that's the one. This is gonna be our first spin-off video game.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, we're very passion driven, right? And it's just we're just huge fans of Vampire Survivor and many of the other games in this genre. And so it was just something we wanted to get our hands dirty with.
That's awesome. Just seeing something saying, you know what, we like that. We want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's our approach.
That's really rad. And you know what? It's already been kind of a banger year for you guys at Ghost Ship. You recently started being publishers as well.
Yeah, that's super exciting. It was actually last month when we had our 5-year anniversary that we announced that we are going into publishing. So we are basically looking at games that will go into early access. We believe that we have a special edge here compared to more traditional publishers in the sense that we have a lot of experience with early access through the whole journey we have been on with Deep Rock Galactic. And we really want to share some of the knowledge we have gathered and help other game studios navigate. You could say the muddy waters of being in a Steam Early Access.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing to publish a game, and it's even more difficult to have success. So just to see you guys helping other people achieve that, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and it's super cool. And again, as I said before, very passion driven. We have 3 games that we have announced that we will be publishing. One is, you can say, Slay the Spire clone called Spell Rogue. And it is, the twist here is that you use dice as a source of mana to cast cards, and then it's a deck builder. It's a roguelike deck builder. And then we have another game which is called Dark Swarm, and it is basically Helldivers set in an aliens universe. So 4-player co-op, top-down twin-stick shooter.
Ooh, that's awesome. All right, now you're speaking my language. Helldivers is a super fun game, and I'm very into sci-fi, so that clicks with me right there.
Yeah, and I think it's actually, I mean, when we started working on Deep Rock Galactic, we were also playing a lot of Helldivers. Obviously, 2 very different games, but there are some of the things in Helldivers that we've been looking at and been inspired by. So that just feels nice to come full circle here.
Oh, that's really awesome. I'm curious, what attracts you to a game, like as far as like something you want to publish? Like, what do you look for in a game?
I mean, it's taste, right? I mean, it's personal taste. I mean, what do you think is fun to play? I mean, but when it comes to the whole publishing thing, we have sort of three things, 3 bullet points that we are really much looking into. And that is, the first one is open development, which basically means that your game development is community-driven, which is that, I mean, we need developers who want to engage with the community and want to listen to them. The second point is flexible design, which means that you need to have a game that you can expand on endlessly. And again, this goes hand in hand with the open development, which, I mean, you cannot honestly listen to your community without having the flexibility of actually changing and adapting to what they say or what they want. And then the last point is we want those developers that we partner up with to build solid businesses. We just don't want to. We're not only looking at the games; we're actually also looking at the studios that we engage.
Like, you mentioned your 5th anniversary. I thought what you guys did was so cool. When you're like, you know what? Here's Deep Rock as it was when you first played it. We did a live stream for it when it came out, and wow, sometimes you just don't know how good you have it until you go back and look at where you came from.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what also happened. I mean, I booted up an old version of the game, and I was just like awestruck. Wow, was this how the game looked 5 years ago? And then I just had a feeling that it could be awesome to share this with our players, right? And I think it was basically a perfect fit for our 5-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's super cool. You guys do a lot for your fans, Can you talk about your relationship with your community a little bit?
Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, first of all, I gotta say, right, I mean, we the developers are loving Deep Rock Galactic ourselves, right? And I hope that shines through. So clearly, I mean, talking with the community, following them, seeing what feedback we get, it's just a daily motivator, and it basically wants us to do the best we can possibly do. So it just makes us happy.
You guys want to do any other sort of genre spins with Deep Rock Galactic? Could we get what about a Dance Revolution clone? There's already a lot of drinking and dancing in Deep Rock. It seems like it'd be a perfect fit to get some dancing dwarves going.
Yeah, maybe that could be a thing. We haven't thought on those.
Come on, DRR, Deep Rock Revolution.
Yeah, there's many. Now we have probably. I don't know. You caught me off guard. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just pitching my idea now. Well, all right. Let's get back to Deep Rock Survivors though. Okay, the big question, the thing that's on everybody's mind. What's the beard situation like in Deep Rock Survivors? Are we gonna have like character customizations? Are we gonna be able to have the most epic beard ever still?
I hope. It's a bit too early to. I mean, we are still getting all the fundamentals, gameplay mechanics, and everything like that into place. All the whole the cosmetic part that's coming later.
Well, I mean, I mean, there's gonna be beards of some sort at the very least, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed.
And beers.